Welcome to Confessions of an SEO. This is Carolyn Holzman. A lot of SEO podcasts are trying to help you get a leg up on the tactics of SEO. That usually isn't what happens here, but today might be an exception. The goal normally is just to put a human face on SEO for both SEOs and business owners to get the heads out of the Google Webmaster Guidelines and stop quoting John Mueller as though he's actually going to tell you how to rank your site better than your competitors. If you're an SEO, I get you. If you're a business owner, I also get you. For over 20 years before I was an SEO, I was a local business owner constantly trying to figure out how to get more customers from search and other methods. I hope these shows help you understand how to hold an SEO accountable, to have a better idea of what is within their control and what is within Google's. So you're not holding your SEO person responsible for something that only Google can do. Welcome to Season 2, Episode 12. This last week has felt longer than normal for me. Not horrible, just longer. And I know before you know it, I'll be confessing from Vermont. So anyway, today's topic, and I love how what I'm going to tell you, is received differently by SEOs and business owners. So I see everybody is in one in three possibilities. So either you're in the what's indexation group, or you're in the I don't have a problem with indexation, or you're in the oh my God, this has been driving me nuts, thank you so much. And for most of us, certainly for SEO testers, this past fall and early spring has been brutal when it comes to getting new content into Google. You just have to accept this. If you're in that second group, it's not an invitation to gloat or to run down the list of how many possible ways the rest of us could have been doing it wrong. But if you're a new listener, I need to tell you this. I'm a solid supporter of testing, SEO testing to see what works. Not experimenting with a lot of things because I just need to get a page to rank better, but isolating a single variable or as close as I can, and then pushing that test out live into Google and seeing what happens. You know, it's just like the science experiments we all did in Science Lab. Hey, this is like my own SEO Science Lab. Alexa, please stop. Okay. Indexation is the first milestone on the path to revenue. Ranking doesn't happen, conversion doesn't happen, transactions don't happen, revenue for your product or service doesn't come to you without you having to get involved, like knock on doors or spend every Sunday or Wednesday lunchtime in Marie calendars eating Caesar salad, trying to get leads from the other people who are there. If your page or pages don't come up when someone searches for the services or product you provide, prepare to work a lot harder just to keep up with your competitors. So for those of you that know what indexation is, or you've hired an SEO team and you've seen their content that you paid for published on your site, but Search Console tells you it's either not crawled or not indexed, then this is for you. Now, you can find out the general advice that I gave on a recent SEO Fight Club from March 8th, and I'll put the link in the description. I was given the opportunity from the guys on the show to share what I found from the Google Index Detector Project, which is all about how to get new content that has never been published on your site before, how to get it indexed quickly, and certainly within 48 hours. As I shared last week, what I shared on the show was everything I shared was tested, it's repeatable, and it does not require a rocket scientist, just an SEO one. You know, right now, I would say, Google is still making a little bit of a construction mess in Search Console. So you might experience delays if you do, or according to my recommendations, start requesting in that way. But the short version is do not submit your new content to get indexed via the request indexation button in Search Console. Do not submit your sitemap either. Have it on your site, yes, but do not submit it. And this is the important part, pay attention. Hook your site up to the Google Indexing API. And you can also have the option to do it with Index Now, which is Bing's, or I should say Microsoft's initiative. Now, this week, after sharing everything I did on that show, I got some questions. And I realized, sometimes I try to make a funny, and I think when I do that, sometimes it gets misinterpreted. Go figure. So here's the questions I got. And I wanted to do it this way because by sharing what kind of questions I got, it also helps me explain what changes I've made over the past week to the test site. So this came in from someone who said, you spoke about automation. What are you using it for? Is it automated via the Google Indexing API, or is it something else? So just to clarify, the automation I was referring to is the built-in ability of WordPress, which is a software that runs websites, to manage the content and permit you to load up multiple articles and schedule them for publication on future dates. So I was doing it from Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Now, the reason I opted for that was that the original test site was complete and full HTML, no content management system. I had to, and I'm using Air Bunnies, craft each new test page in an HTML editor, manually upload and code for each image and video, as well as come up with the 2 unique keywords to test for the original genesis of the test in the first place. There were 2 questions I had. Is Google indexing new content? And does Google have its rendering engine on so it could read JavaScript and index a page for what it found in the JavaScript? So by moving the test into WordPress, I could set up the new test pages for each week and have them set to automatically publish without my intervention. So, and this was the idea, I could simply wake up and pull the server logs for that hosting system and another one and review both and see what happened just as the page was published. Now, just as a note, since doing that, I have had 2 times where the system missed the publication date. And on one of those days in the server logs, something happened, or rather something did not happen as it was recorded. And I'll share more about that lately. So that leads me to the next question. What was the other plugin you mentioned about Googlebot? Now, there were 2 plugins that I mentioned. The Rank Math Instant Indexing option, which you can Google and you can find. It's very easy. And you set it up, follow their instructions to set it up to the Google Indexing API. It also gives you the option to set it up for Bing's Index Now. But there was a second plugin I mentioned it's called Simple Googlebot Visit. I will put the link in the description. The plugin tells you the date and time of the latest Googlebot visit. Now, this is nice to know without having to leave the admin of the WordPress site. I mean, who in their right mind is going to prefer logging into their hosting platform, going to the raw access files where they can download a massive amount of stuffed files and then open up the raw server logs? I mean, really, who would do that? Oh, I think something may have got out of its thought bubble. So anyway, getting back to the thing that happened but did not get recorded. On 2 occasions, this sweet little plugin recorded Googlebot visits. And those visits were confirmed by Search Console. So like when I put the URL in Search Console and told it to run a URL inspection, it also had told me that Googlebot had come and when they had come. But the server logs that are supposed to be everything that's happening, like all the entrances to your site, whether it's by a human or a bot, the server logs showed nothing about a bot coming at that same time and crawling the page. That is not supposed to happen. So here's my running theory. What if by scheduling WordPress content with the Rank Math Instant Indexing plugin on, somewhere in the site, somehow, I don't know how, the new test page somehow gets presented to Google, maybe, an echo. And that somehow when the page is published on Google's end, it does this thing, but the server logs don't record it. Did I mention that this is a theory? Okay. I've been in touch with the plugin developers who clearly are not going to spend a lot of time researching and explaining their free plugin, like where and how do they do that? Maybe it's a pixel. I don't know. But maybe it's a pixel that pings when a bot comes. So I'm not sure even how that plugin actually works. I am trying to figure it out. And I've been in continuing discussions with the hosting platform. That's exciting. So since then, I've stopped the auto-publish, and now I manually publish in the mornings just so I can attempt to, in a way, rule out my theory. I'm not recommending that you do that, right? Who gives a flying flip if the server logs are wonky as long as your content gets indexed? Am I right? And here's the cool stuff. This is working. People out there, SEOs with their own sites and others, have messaged me that they're getting their content indexed, and in some cases, faster than the 48 hours I'm expecting. So where am I going to go with this project? Because frankly, now that we know that Search Console right now works like opposite day, for all you SpongeBob enthusiasts out there, I got you. So anyway, the point being in that is if you want indexation, do not ask for it there. And again, there are very real limits to Google's indexing API. You can't do more than 200 URLs a day. Okay, I didn't say a month, I said a day. So right now, I know there's all those black hat SEOs and guys with massive sites out there who are like, I'm out of here. This doesn't help me. And I feel like the person who cured a terrible disease only to be told, oh, that's great, but does this mean I have to keep eating salad? And this is where I'm going to channel Doc Vader. It's a hilarious channel on YouTube. And he was talking about the hospital customer satisfaction score. Did you die? If the answer is no, then patient satisfaction score should be 100%. So I want to say now, did you get indexed? I'm going to use this on my mesothelioma SEO as sport project. I mean, I should say, case study. It's more professional, right? Now, it's not anywhere near 200 pages, and you can darn well bet I will get indexation, and I will be damned happy I did. I digress. I think I was talking about where am I going on this project? Okay. Well, I had a great conversation yesterday about how to test out some other things with a site like this. It is so cool and mind-bendingly, I just don't think I can share it here. If I can, I will. I'll think about it. And also, another piece to this puzzle, I started looking at Bing to see how is she holding up, And she's finally moving into the new century. I mean, it's still a little slow on the JavaScript uptake, but most of the test pages are also getting indexed into Bing for the simple HTML test keyword. There is a delay on the rendered indexing, and the JavaScript generally takes between 3 to 5 days before Bing starts to tie it with that test keyword. Good to know, people. Good to know. Well, that's going to do it for today. Thank you for being a listener, and special thank yous, as always, to the sponsors of Confessions. Please submit your questions anytime. You can use, it's harder through here, but you could probably go to my Facebook page, American Way Media. I'll put that link in there. And if you would, subscribe to Confessions. It's on Audible, Spotify, Amazon Alexa, and if you haven't settled on one source, you can just Google it, Confessions of an SEO. I think last time I checked, now have all 10 results on page 1. All of us stand to make more money and success together when both the SEOs and the business owners understand each other and Google better. It's been my pleasure to be your host. Thank you for your time, and I will see you in the SERPs.